All right, it is that time of the week. I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. This is podcast number 13 here on the 29th of March, 2022. We have a lot to go over, just like in every episode, just like I say every single week, and we will kick it off how we always do with the rumors in the world of professional wrestling. Tony Khan announces he is in talks with Ring of Honor and AAA Women's Champion Deonna Purrazzo. She could debut at the Owen Hart Cup tournament coming up in the next month. According to Fightful Select, Tony Khan took issue with MJF openly discussing AEW contract status and interest from WWE on the Ariel Helwani show. Per Wrestling Observer Radio, Gable Stevenson will be a quote-unquote Raw regular very, very soon with a push. And on a personal note, this is not unusual for WWE to take an outside interest in another athlete or actor, and in this case, athlete, and give them a tremendous push, especially with the amount of legitimacy somebody like Gable Stevenson has behind him. He's a two-time NCAA wrestling champion and a gold medalist also in wrestling. Reminiscent of Brock Lesnar and his NCAA championship prowess, and a little bit of Kurt Angle with his gold medal prowess. It will be interesting to see what WWE does with Mr. Stevenson, and if they push him in the direction of legitimate wrestler turned pro wrestler, or if it's just going to be gimmicky from the very beginning. Keep your eye on this cat, and keep your eye on WWE in the weeks and months to come. Shane Hurricane Helms tweeted he has signed a WWE Legends contract. No further information was available at the time of this broadcast. Two recent AEW trademarks filings have people thinking AEW Fight Forever will be the video game name on PS4 and next generation consoles. Also, along with this, several new images and videos have leaked recently regarding this video game, showing some gameplay, showing some of the wrestlers that you are going to be able to select from. I, along with several other people, are very, very excited for this wrestling game and cannot wait for its release date later on this year. All right, that concludes our rumors section of Round 2 Wrestling. We will now move on to the news section of Round 2 Wrestling. Paul Triple H Levesque announces retirement from in-ring action due to ongoing health issues. It is not a secret that Triple H has been in poor health over the past several years, and his health has deteriorated in the past several years. A severe, serious heart attack, cardiac arrest left him on the sidelines initially, and now it looks like it will be permanent. We will no longer see Triple H in the ring, at the very least as active and as often as we used to. It is wrestling. A once-in-a-while match probably is in the books, but only time will tell. Reported to The Ringer, former WCW and WWF tag champions, the Steiner brothers, will be inducted into the WWE 22 Hall of Fame class. This is long overdue. For weeks and almost a month, there was speculation that Rick Steiner would be inducted into the Hall of Fame and not Scott Steiner. I'm not entirely sure what has happened in the past week and a half or so, but it looks like they will both be inducted as a tag team. Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor title matches this week. There are several to be viewed. The Ring of Honor Pure title will be on the line with Josh Woods taking on Wheeler Yuta. The Ring of Honor tag team titles are also on the line with the Briscoes taking on FTR. The Ring of Honor World title is also on the line with Jonathan Gresham taking on Bandito, and added just today, the interim Ring of Honor Women's Championship will be decided between Mercedes Martinez, and Willow Nightingale. All this can be seen on April 1st. Also in the news, according to Fightful, MLW wrestler Davey Richards has signed a new contract and will be with Major League Wrestling until late 2024. All right, we have a new segment here in Round 2 Wrestling that we introduced last week, and it seemed to be pretty popular. It is our Did You Know segment. Our Did You Know segment will contain little bits of information all about the wrestling world. Could be stats, could be little things about the actual profession that you did not know. Here we go. The largest pro wrestling event took place in 1999 at Pyongyang, North Korea at Mayday Stadium. 300,000 spectators viewed this WCW New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view over a 2-day period. Brock Lesnar is the only wrestler to appear in a WWE, UFC, and NFL video game. For those of you who are wondering which NFL video game that is, that would be Madden 2006 when he was a member of the Minnesota Vikings. To conclude our Did You Know portion of Round 2 Wrestling, did you know Bob Sapp is the first IWGP Heavyweight Black Champion? This was won in 2004, however, it was dropped only after a 66-day reign. All right, we are at the halfway portion of Round 2 Wrestling. We have 3 more bits to go over, so stay tuned as we hit our results portion of Round 2 Wrestling. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Tetsuya Naito in the New Japan Pro Wrestling 2022 Cup Tournament at Osaka-jo Hall in Japan. FTW champion Ricky Starks defeated Swerve Strickland to retain the FTW championship last week on Friday Night Rampage. NXT UK Women's Champion Miko Satomura defeated Isla Dawn to retain her title. SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos took on the Raw Tag Team Champion RK Bro, and this ended in a disqualification last night on Raw Monday night. All right, that concludes the results from this past week. Not a lot happened, but you better bet your ass next week there will be plenty to report. This brings us to our match of the week here in Round 2 Wrestling. Our match of the week took place 35 years ago to the day, March 29th, 1987, Pontiac, Michigan, at the Pontiac Silverdome. WrestleMania 3 was the event with over 93,000 in attendance, although this is disputed. The main event is our match of the week that saw the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, take on WWF champion Hulk Hogan. Booed heavily and laden with trash on his way to the ring, Andre, along with manager Bobby Heenan, looked to make quick work of champion Hulk Hogan. Approximately 2 minutes into the bout, a failed body slam by Hogan almost cost him the WWF title, but he was able to kick out of an Andre the Giant pinning attempt. Minutes later, Hogan picked up the 525-pound giant, threw him aside, dropped the leg drop, and pinned the challenger, defeating Andre the Giant in what has been called the most lopsided main event in WrestleMania history. A quick note, 1 year later, in 1988, Andre would pin Hogan in a title rematch, only to have the WWF Heavyweight Championship title declared vacant afterwards when he turned around and presented the title to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. We have a ranking system here in Round 2 Wrestling. It is a bell system. This particular match gets a 4 out of 5 bells. A very, very good, iconic pay-per-view worthy match. If you are a fan or not a fan of WWF, at the very least, you know this particular bout. All right, we will conclude this episode of Round 2 Wrestling with our Michigan highlight. Our Michigan highlight is when we take a wrestler or promotion born or based in the state of Michigan and we place them on a pedestal for you to enjoy for just a little bit. Our Michigan highlight this week is Aloysius Martin Lou Thez, born April 24th, 1916 in Benot, Michigan. Thez is a 3-time NWA heavyweight champion and held the NWA title for a total of 3,749 days, or 10 years, 3 months, and 9 days. Making his pro debut in 1932, between 1949 and 1956, Thez tried to unify all of the heavyweight titles in the United States at that time into the NWA World title, almost successfully doing so. Lou Thez's last world title came in 1963 when he defeated Buddy Rogers. Thez would officially retire in the year 2000. On April 23, 2002, Lou Thez passed away at the age of 86 in Orlando, Florida. All right, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am SlimmDa KID. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to this podcast. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday when we have another episode of Round 2 Wrestling to go over with you, where we will bring you more news, more results, more rumors from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.